Welcome students in my pharmaceutics class, specially from B.Pharm first year. I am your teacher Ankita Acharya, Assistant Professor of the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, JS University. So today we are going to cover the liquid dosage form, which is a main part of the pharmaceutics. So there is a certain things which we are going to cover as this will help you to learn more about the liquid dosage forms, as the liquid dosage forms itself is a broad topic. So let's start. A solution, which is a liquid preparation that contains one or more soluble chemical substances dissolved in a specified solvent. So this is the definition, or you can say the exact definition of the liquid dosage form. So mainly with the help of these lines, we can easily say that a solution which is mainly a liquid preparation. So that can be a solution, that can be a syrup, that can be a suspension, or also that can be a emulsion, as the liquid dosage form mainly divided into these four parts. So they have to contain one or more soluble chemical substances dissolved in a specified solvent. So there are certain advantages of liquid dosage forms. So mainly it is immediately available for absorption purpose, and also uh, the administration is convenient for this thing, particularly for infants and psychotic patients, as in case of infants and psychotic patients, they are having difficulty to insert the solid dosage form. So that's why liquid dosage forms means solutions or another things mainly convenient for those patients. So it is also easy to color, flavor and sweeten. Liquids are easier to swallow than solids and are therefore particularly acceptable for pediatric patients. So as I have told earlier, this is not only acceptable for pediatric patient, this is also acceptable for infants, psychotic patients also. A solution in an homogeneous system, and therefore the drug will be uniformly distributed throughout the preparation. So that means in case of liquid dosage form, we need a solvent system. So in that solvent system, the drug is mainly uniformly distributed throughout the preparation. So that's why the solution became more uniform and easily acceptable for the needed patient. Some drugs like aspirin, KCl can irritate gastric mucosa if used orally as a solid dosage forms, but this effect can be reduced by solution system. So suppose we have to administer the aspirin and KCl via a solid dosage form, but think once that in case of the pediatric patient or in case of the infants or psychotic patients, it is difficult to administer the solid dosage form. So for those patients, if we reduce the problem with the help of a solution system, that is mainly a liquid dosage form, then that can be useful for those patients also. So these are mainly some advantages of the liquid dosage form. So apart from the liquid dosage form's advantage, there is also certain disadvantages, as these are bulky than tablets or capsule, so difficult to carry for transportation purpose. It is less stable in aqueous system. Incompatibility is faster in solution than solid dosage form. Patients have no accurate measuring device, as you all know that in case of solid dosage form there is no need to measurement, but in case of liquid dosage form we have to measure it after administering it via our mouth. So, in our home, naturally there is no measuring device. So that's why it can be a big problem for those patients who are having the liquid dosage forms instead of the solid dosage form. Accident breakage of container result in complete loss. So, in case of liquid dosage form, if we pour the whole thing in a glass tube and accidentally that glass tube get breakable, then it will be a complete loss for us. So solution often provides suitable media for the growth of microorganisms, as solution contains some aqueous portion, so therefore that can be a suitable medium for the growth of the microorganisms. The taste of a drug, which is often unpleasant, is always more pronounced when in solution than in a solid form. So these are mainly the disadvantages of the liquid dosage form. So next is the some additive which we are mainly using to prepare a liquid dosage forms. So let's have a look what are the various additives used in the liquid dosage forms. First one is the vehicle, second one is the buffer, third one is the density modifiers, fourth one is the stabilizer, fifth one is the isotonicity modifiers, sixth one is the viscosity enhancement, seventh one is the preservatives, eighth one is the sweetening agents, ninth one is the reducing agents and antioxidants, 10th is the flavors and perfumes, and last is the colors. So we will going to discuss all of these things one by one in our upcoming slides. So first is the vehicle. So mainly vehicles are of two types. First one is the aqueous vehicle and second one is the non-aqueous vehicle. So mainly the name itself describes that in case of first vehicles there is the water portion, and in case of second vehicle there is no water portion. So first we will discuss about the aqueous vehicles. So the name itself describes that there is a water portion. So we can start with the water portion. Water is the solvent which is most widely used as a vehicle for all the pharmaceutical products because of its physiological compatibility and lack of toxicity. So we all know that water do not have any kind of toxicity, and it is mainly having the physiological compatibility. So that's why it is widely used as a vehicle for pharmaceutical products. Also, it possesses a high dielectric constant, which is essential for ensuring the dissolution of a wide range of ionizable materials. So, here are some types of pharmaceutical water. Uh, these types of water we can use in the preparation of liquid dosage form. So, first is the water, second one is the purified water, third one is the water for injection, or the another name of it is what WFI. Fourth one is the sterile water for injection, and fifth one is the bacteriostatic water for injection. So first water, uh, we will discuss some properties and remarks against water and all other things. So some properties of water are mainly it is cheap, high dielectric constant, miscible with alcohol, glycerol and other polar solvents, non-flammable and inert. And the remarks against water is impurities. In case of purified water, It is mainly prepared by distillation or ion change resin and mainly used for parenterals preparation. Water for injection is mainly sterile and pyrogen free, and it is also used for parenteral preparation. Next is the sterile water for injection, which is mainly sterilizes and suitably packed, and there is no antimicrobial added in the sterile water for injection, and it is also used for parenteral preparation. Next is the and last portion is the bacteriostatic water for injection. It is mainly sterile water containing one or more suitable antimicrobial, and it is also used for parenteral preparation. So this chart mainly describes the various kinds of pharmaceutical water along with some properties and remarks for your convenience. So there are also some approaches to improve the aqueous solubility. There are mainly co-solvency, pH control, solubilization, complexation, chemical modification, and particle size control. So these factors or these approaches are mainly used to improve the aqueous solubility. Next one is the non-aqueous vehicles. So we have covered up fully the aqueous vehicles. Now there is a second part, non-aqueous vehicles comes under the vehicles which is mainly a additive or excipients in case of the liquid dosage form. So in case of non-aqueous vehicles, there are some things. So first one is the fixed oil of vegetable origin, alcohols, polyhydric alcohols, dimethyl sulfoxide, ethyl ether, liquid paraffin, and miscellaneous solvents. So we will also cover up all these things one by one in our upcoming slides. So first one is the fixed oil of vegetable origin. So these are mainly non-volatile oils that consist mainly of fatty acid esters of glycol. Almond oil consists of glycerides mainly of oleic acid, is used as a solvent for oily phenol injections. As well as arachis oil is also used as the solvent in dimercarpol injection. Olive oil, sesame oil, maize oil, cottonseed oil, soya oil, and castor oil all are suitable for parenteral and eye eardrop formulation. Ethyl oleate is useful solvent for both agrocalciferol injection and testosterone propionate injection. Vegetable oils are also used for veterinary formulation. So, from this slide, we have known that there are certain vegetable oils, that is almond oil, arachis oil, olive oil, sesame oil, maize oil, cottonseed oil, soya oil, and castor oil. So mark these things or note these things for your future reference. So here are some properties and remarks against some vegetable oil. As we have discussed the various types of pharmaceutical water, so like that thing, we are also discussing some vegetable oil along with their properties and remarks. So first one is the corn oil. So mainly it is clear, light yellow oily liquid, and it is used as solvent and vehicle for injection. Next is the cottonseed oil. It is mainly pale yellow oily liquid and odorless. It is also used as a solvent and vehicle for injection like corn oil. Next is the peanut oil. It is mainly colorless to pale yellow, and it is also used for the it is also used as solvent and vehicle for injection, as well as also used for liniments. Next is the sesame oil. It is mainly pale yellow and odorless, and it is also used as solvent and vehicle for injection along with the use in cosmetics, liniments, and ointments. Next is the ethyl oleate. It is mainly pale yellow oily liquid and having low viscosity. It is used as a vehicle for IM. IM means intramuscular. Next is the silicons. There are different grades in case of silicons, and it is mainly used in the dermatological preparations. So from this chart, you can also learn the various vegetable oils along with its properties and remarks. For your convenience, this table has been created. So next is the alcohol. Ethyl alcohol is the most widely used solvent in this class, particularly for external preparation, where it evaporates and produces a cooling effect. The example of alcohols is salicylic acid lotion. At concentrations greater than 50%, ethanol exhibits antimicrobial activity, but because of its toxicity, it is mainly used orally or parenterally, only at low concentration, usually as a co-solvent with water. But in some case, isopropyl alcohol is also used externally as a solvent. Next is the polyhydric alcohols. So alcohols containing two hydroxyl groups per molecule are known as glycols. But because of their toxicity, they are rarely used internally. So propylene glycol is only the exception. So that's why it has a wider use in case of the preparation of liquid dosage form. It is often used in conjunction with water or glycerol as a co-solvent. It is used in the formulation of digoxin injection, phenobarbital injection, and many other preparation. They are also used with various range like PEG 400, PEG 600, etc. Here 400 and 600 is the various grades of PEG. PEG means polyethylene glycol. Glycerols and alcohol possessing 3 hydroxyl groups per molecule is also used as a co-solvents with water for oral use. So here is also a chart uh, along with the properties and remarks. So first one is the ethanol. It is mainly miscible with water and having the antimicrobial property, and as it is costly due to high excise duty. Propylene glycol is mainly a solvent as well as preservatives, and it is miscible with water. It is mainly used in case of oral preparation, hydrophilic ointments, injection of barbiturates, iodine, etc. Glycerol or glycerin is mainly colorless, syrupy, sweet taste, and hygroscopic. It is used as solvent, preservative, humectant, also used in throat paints, linctuses, syrups, and elixirs. 1,3-butylene glycol is the colorless, viscous, miscible with water, liquid, and this is used as a solvent for morphine injection. Polyethylene glycol is mainly colorless and used in lotion. Sorbitol is white, miscible with water and having sweet taste, mainly 70% W by W used as vehicle. So this chart will help you to find out all these things along with the properties and remarks. Next is the dimethyl sulfoxide. This is highly polar compound and is thought to aid the penetration of drugs through the skin. It is used as a solvent for veterinary drugs and as a permeation enhances for transdermal system. Next is the ethyl ether. It is a widely used chemical for the extraction of crude drugs, not used internally, used as a co-solvent with alcohol in some colloidal. Next is the liquid paraffin. The oily nature makes its unpleased so used externally. It is used as a solvent for the topical application of drugs in emulsion formulations. It was widely used as the base for nasal drops. Last one is the miscellaneous solvents. Isopropyl myristate, isopropyl palmitate used in cosmetics. Dimethyl formamide, dimethyl lacetamide used as solvent in veterinary preparation. Xylene in present in some ear drops for human used to dissolve earwax. So, uh, here is the end portion of the non-aqueous vehicle. So, we have learned about the definition of the liquid dosage form, some advantages and disadvantages of the liquid dosage form, and what are the additives in case of the preparation of liquid dosage form, and uh, in the additives only the vehicle portion, means the non-aqueous vehicle and aqueous vehicle, we have covered up. So in our next video we will going to cover up all the other portions associated with the liquid dosage form. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening.